Good afternoon, guys. Okay, so this is for my indices traders currently looking at US30. I'm going to explain a few things so that you just understand how I approach my trading when I'm trading US30 or Nasdaq. So from what I'm looking at right now, 330 was around here. Stock market open. This was the candle which spiked up. So I feel like we've taken out Friday's highs. Liquidity sweep to the top side, taking out the current highs. Okay, let me just mark on the actual chart. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so if something changes based on the way I'll be looking at price, I'll just be explaining it on this video. So I'm looking at these New York highs. Price did a sweep above that area. So as the price is now pushing down, in terms of a fair value gap, I feel like price is equally balanced on the time frame I'm looking at. Be in mind the higher time frames we're bullish. So if I'm selling here, it will definitely be a short-term trade, and I'll most likely be targeting the London lows, okay, at the bottom here, or otherwise 50 to 100 points. Okay, so this is the first impulsive move down. We've broken a visible structure here with an order block as well, which makes this a potential breaker block, or basically an order block which has been broken, which can potentially be retested and give us an entry. So for now, I'm leaning on sales, right? Leaning on sales. I'm just going to jump to M15 to see the price action. You can see that liquidity sweep with that spike. So I am definitely bearish. The only thing I would say I'm looking for right now is an entry. So patiently waiting. Trades executed on my phone. I'll try to share the results if I do execute. Okay, I'm just gonna get ready here. Okay, okay, perfect. So let's see how the current M3 candle closes. We'll most likely get our trade like at 4 p.m. Right now it's 15:53, 7 minutes until 4 p.m. If you look at the 5 minutes, the current candle where it closes, we are going to most likely leave a fair value gap. Let's see where we close in 2 minutes. We'll most likely leave this particular fair value gap here, which will become a point of interest. This is based on the 5 minutes, but we still have 2 minutes until we close. So let's just patiently wait. On the 3 minutes, we might also have a fair value gap right there, right near the breaker block there, or the order block which was broken. So let's see what happens. Okay, 3 minutes is closed, which means this is my current entry, which means my setup will be looking something like this. Stop loss will most likely go here. Excuse me. With, let's see, 1, 2, 3, somewhere there. So right now I'm already planning my trade. I check my stop loss in terms of points. I've got a 35 point stop loss. So depending with your account size, depending with your currency, you can just calculate your loss there, what loss size you're going to use. So I'll be risking about 35 points to make about 107. But as soon as I get to 100, that's usually my take profit. So let's see how it plays out. Is price going to come back and tap us in? The 5 minutes is also closed. So the 5 minute fair value gap and the 3 minute fair value gap are on the same they are on the same area. Breaker block there. All right, so that's definitely my point of interest. So basically, this is my setup for today. If price comes and taps me in, I'll be active on that trade. This could qualify as an entry, but I'm not really going to use it because how do I put it? I just prefer the fair value gap. Let me just put it that way. So let's wait and see if price is going to tap us in. So on this broker, that will be a sell limit on 38,814. On my mobile, that will be 38,812. I've got a feeling we might fall from current market price. 38,812. No worries. I'm just gonna use the sell limits. Okay, 38. Stop loss. 8850 TP. All right, so I'm going to share that as my trade idea into the group now, so that you guys can see that the trade was taken. So it's either the trade will play out or it's going to take us out. Just quickly share that. Okay, my US30 trade idea. All right, the time is 15:58, 15:57, almost 15:58. Trade shared in the group. I'm just going to take a picture of what I have on the screen as well. Okay, done. Okay, let's say price decides to drop from here. Let me just open one position on my other account quickly. So there, the risk might be a bit bigger. Probably a one-to-one trade. But it's worth it. We're getting a nice retracement there. See if it's gonna tap us in. Sorry, that's my YouTube there. Sorry about that. Mm, mm. All right, let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. Are they going to come tape us in 1601? For now, I'm happy with the structure I'm looking at because definitely liquidity sweep. Let's just see if there were entries on the M1. I don't use the M1 though for entries. I feel like the M1 is just a little bit too much for me. So based on the M1, more or less the same pattern again, liquidity sweep. Then price came, gave equal lows, eventually broke, left this fair value gap and tapped into it. So those who use M1, most likely they might have had a setup looking something like, let's just put, yes, their setup is looking something like this and it's already active. I believe so. I stand to be corrected though, because I'm not really like familiar with M1. I do prefer the 3 minute time frame. 3 minute, 5 minutes, sometimes M15. So let's just see if it's going to pay us or it's going to take us out. And again, it's Monday. There's not much volume in the market. So in terms of risk, if you're in the trade or if you're taking the trade or trades on Monday, just make sure your risk is minimized because you really don't want to start the week with a big loss or a loss which is uncalled for. So let's just see what happens. Okay, price approaching our sell limits. Sometimes also, let me just put this out there. Sometimes I prefer, or most of the times I prefer to get a rejection. I don't use limits most of the time. Let me see. Okay, the sell limit is active. I don't use limits most of the time. I prefer to get a reaction first, like price actually bouncing off my point of interest or the fair value gap, whatever it might be. Then after I get that confirmation, then I can formulate a setup almost the same 1:3 or just aim for 50 to 100 points. Then I execute. I rarely like use sell limits like this because based on my trading system, I've realized that sell limits usually like sometimes price might take me out, for example, then still come my way. So sometimes it sort of gets frustrating. It messes up your emotions. So I usually wait for price to actually reject. So let's see what happens here. So if you're on the 1 minute, depending with where your stop loss was, most likely this price is about to take you out. Okay, I'm trying to pay attention to M15 because this price could, there's a little chance that we could continue pushing up since the higher time frames are actually bullish. So let's see how that goes. So I'm just going to remove this for the 1 minute and leave this one for our current trade. So our trade is active. I've got about a 30 something points stop loss. Because looking at M15, you might say these guys, they look like they want to push up. So if they're going to push up, how do we figure it out? Okay. So this setup then might mean it could be a flip zone. So let's look at it from the other side. If it becomes a flip zone, what price simply has to do is they have to run up, then come back into the same fair value gap, use it as an inverted or inversion fair value gap for price to actually push up. So we'll just see what they do. Otherwise, if they take us out, we'll just watch, see how they play out. Since it's Monday, we don't want to keep chasing price. Rather save our bullets for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But otherwise, this will be the play for buys, and this is the current play for sells. So basically, that's my thought process. If I'm in a trade, that's what I'm thinking. Like if price does this, it means it's going to go to a certain point. If it does this, it's going to go to a certain area. So I simply have to pick a side. If I have a pattern on that side, I simply have to execute. Either the trade plays out or it takes me out. Okay, I'm just going to resume the commentary just now. I'll just be watching. If they come up here, I'll comment. If they come down here, I'll comment. Right, and one other thing, usually on the good days, days which are not like Monday, if price taps into your point of interest, most of the times it doesn't take time for it to go wherever it wants to go, or if it wants to go up, it doesn't take too long for it to actually start moving. So this looks like they want to push up, but let's see. Since our risk is calculated, everything is calculated. Let's see how that goes. Okay, M15 for me is bullish. M15 looks bullish. Can we get it past to the downside? I really doubt it. So let me show you guys what I'm seeing. So M15 is also one of my best time frames just to see where my trend is leaning. So M15. Okay, you see this price action here. This is the one I'm referring to. So price came, broke above Friday's highs, came down below like we want to have a sell pattern, but gave this particular price action here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize my risk again to go on top, right on top of the current M5 candle, or on top of the last 1 minute candle, but I don't think you guys are watching live, so it won't really make sense. But my stop loss is now on top of the current M15 candle. So I've already minimized it by almost half for the same reward. Let's see if we can move because I would actually like to quickly put it to break even. So the setup is looking like this now. So I've minimized my risk since I feel like price could push up based on the 15-minute time frame. Let's see what they do. So we are running at half the initial risk we had. So from our sell limit entry, which activated, we're only risking about 22 pips now. For the same reward of about 100 points, which makes this setup 1 to 5. But if it takes us out, that's still fine because I feel like M15 just showed me something. So like I said, again, I did this video so that I could show you guys like trade management, what I do when I'm looking for a setup, when I have a setup, and what I do when the setup is active. So I'm trying to see if price is still leaning in my bias, especially the M15. For fair value gap, I use M3 and M5. M15 is to confirm my liquidity sweeps. But the only thing which is not in line with me today, I would say, is the daily. As you can see here, we are bullish. So I'm literally trading against the main trend. The sell I have was a short-term sell, hence I was just targeting the London lows. If you see, this is our target. So we are within that range of the day's candle. So if they could do this then continue with their merry way up, I would have been happy. But most of the times, again, I would advise to trade against the trend, never trade against the trend unless you know exactly what you are doing. That's one other thing which I would actually advise. So this price action here is just playing around that same fair value gap we had from the 5 minute time frame. And chances are price can most likely take us out. Chances are price will take us out in favor of a buy. But in terms of the buy, I do not have any pattern to say, let me buy from this pattern. If you do have a pattern, then I always advise people to always remember to trade what you see and always risk the money you can afford to lose. So let's see what happens. I'm just going to try and record just until the setup finishes playing. So if it hits a stop loss, then that will be a shorter setup. But if it goes to TP, then that will be slightly longer because price might take some time to go down there. But let's see what happens. So whilst we here, let's quickly check what's happening with Nasdaq. So Nasdaq started by actually, let's see, this was 3:30. They pushed up this 4 p.m. Are we going to come down? Also, the price, you see, this is why we don't trade Mondays, because usually price can just be haphazard. You know, if you're trading during a kills on time, you just want to see your pattern form. It's either the pattern is there or it's not. So based on my trading system, nothing here for me on Nasdaq until, of course, maybe they give an impulsive move. Um, leave a fair value gap, then I can maybe sell, or maybe if they can drop down into this area. But it looks like they already tapped into it. So as long as there's a lot of conflicting ideas like that, I usually prefer not to execute on the asset. So let's see. With the price action here, most likely we're going to hit SL, but let's see how it goes. So I'm just going to mute the commentary again. I'll resume just now. Just want to multitask a bit. All right, so price is almost about to hit stop loss. So let me just share this with the group as well quickly because I had not updated that. I've actually minimized my loss. Okay, let's see. My SO is currently above. I'm trying to 1 2. My SO is currently above. All right, manage your trade accordingly if you're in a sell. So I've updated. M15 showed me a bullish. Okay, let's print there. Let me just edit. M15 showed me a bullish pattern, which made me sell low probability. So I've reduced my risk with about 10 points. My stop loss is currently above the last bearish M5 candle you see. This is the caption which I sent to the group. Now, in case there's anybody who's selling with me or somebody who was seeing what I was seeing exactly, they should also minimize their risk. So if we are doing live sessions, this is basically how we do it. I try to help you with your risk management as well, but it's always up to you to actually calculate your own risk, as you are only also trading what you are seeing on your side, not what I say. So you manage your trades accordingly. Trade management, I try to advise if let's say for example this price was actually pushing down and they get here, then for some reason I see that they're starting to push up in a way which is showing that they are never coming down here, then if we are trading live, I'll tell you to actually secure the trade either a break even or with a small profit. So again, that is also part of trade management. um One other thing, if we are trading with the trend, if we have multiple positions, we usually, let's say we are coming down. When we are halfway, we break even. That's always the rule. When you are halfway towards your target, we always move your stop loss from wherever it is to your entry. That way, when price retraces, you do not get a loss. Your capital is protected. That's the other thing. The other thing is you also leave one position. Let's say we are trading with the trend and we feel like price will still continue pushing down. When we get to our target, we're going to scale out at our perceived TP. Then we're going to at least leave one position running and trailing until price retraces to actually take it out. That's another way which we can use as well for trade management. So yeah, let's see. It's still trying to play out though. It's still trying because as you can see, the trade is still active. Question is it going to remain active? Is it going to pay us though? Let's see what happens. So I'm going to mute the commentary again. I had actually came back because I thought we were going to be taken out here. So I'm going to mute the commentary again for a couple of seconds or minutes so that I can just multitask on the other things on the side. But I'll be back with the commentary just now. All right, I'm back. So far, so good. Trade is playing out well. Let's see if we can break this level and remain below it. Let's see if we can break and remain below. So remember, at halfway, you want to move your stop loss to break even. Even now, you can move it to break even. Since this is a low probability trade, you can even move it to break even if you want. So trade moved into about 30 points. I usually scale out at halfway also, like when you get to 50 points, that's where I scale out. Right here, cannot scale out here based on my trading plan. Let's see how it goes. So if you want, based on the probability of your trade playing out at this point, since this is a level here, it's a point of interest. So like you see, we're sort of struggling to break below that area. So sometimes you see price bouncing like that. You can just move your stop loss to break even. It's always better to have a break even trade where you don't lose anything than to have a loss. And it's always good to miss a trade than to have a loss. So that's also part of trade management as well. And remember, for each setup, there's different trade management tactics which you use based on how price will be moving. So there's a lot of stuff involved, and it's not something we can list because with each setup, price moves different, and we attack it differently based on exiting, managing the running trade, and stuff like that. So that's also one of the things you just need to take note of. So again, one other thing is just that today's London session is quite a different. You see how price was moving in the morning. There's no clean levels. What you want to do is, if there's clean levels to your left, levels which you can see, for example, this one, this is to my left. Anything to my left, like a zone, or you feel like price has hit and maybe retested, as long as it's visible to your naked eye, use that point of interest to actually manage your running trade. So you can use it as a scale out point, or you can just use it as a point of reference just to see if price is coming down. Let's say we had a level here. If price is coming down to this level, is it coming down with momentum to show that it's going to come through and break and continue pushing down? Or is your price actually slowing down as it is getting to a certain zone, is beginning to slow down? The candles maybe are becoming smaller, they're beginning to reject coming down to that level. That sort of gives you an idea of whether to actually scale out, close, or maybe break even your trade as it is running. It also shows you whether the trade has got potential to keep on pushing down, or it will run out of steam and you can might as well close the trade. So those are all some of the things you need to know as well. And if we are trading together live, it will simply be like this. The only difference is You'll also be in the session and we'll be bouncing ideas, you'll be asking questions, and everything will just be helpful. So based with the current market price action, this trade should not be a loss today. The worst case scenario that can happen to this trade should be a break even. Worst case scenario, let me up. That's the last update I'm sending to the group based on this trade. Let me just okay, I'm messing things up here. I just want to try and send like a video item so that it's clear to these guys. Let's see. Okay, guys, the worst case scenario for this trade, as you can see, our stop loss was just above here, right? Initially, it was somewhere up and we lowered it down. So this price is showing that it's really struggling to sort of push down. So the worst case scenario for this trade now should be a break even. So if you're in the trade, you move your stop loss from wherever it is, put it to where your entry is. And if push comes to shove, this trade will just take us out at the entry and we'll come back and trade tomorrow. Okay, that's done. Okay, so that was for the group. So our trade is now running at break even. Let me see if I can try to just hold on to this video to see if we can come back to break even or we can go down so that I can complete this video session for Monday. I don't know. Also, I'll try to do sessions for this whole week to just show you guys how I trade as well so that you can see whether you will be paying for something worthwhile or you can just save your money and do something else. So this is basically our live session. It will be looking more like this. Right, so hopefully we'll be rounding up this session now. Almost a break even. Almost a break even. Taking forever. So with the following days, I guess you see as well if I manage to do recordings of all my trading session. You see on Mondays, like today, you see price just move slow. On maybe high probability days, you notice that price moves a bit faster. Whether we are wrong or we are right, either way, it will move fast. If we are wrong, it will quickly take us out. If we are right, it will quickly put us into profit and hit our TP. Especially on days when there's like fundamentals, where price is being pushed by fundamentals, or when we are trading with the trend, price usually moves fast on those days. Today, I don't think there was anything, although price looks like to be spiky. Right now, I don't think we had any news events. Right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm already getting tired. Let me just stretch this back up here so that it just looks nice. Okay, so the price did not take us out. It looks like we are moving now. Let's see if we can get to the halfway point. Can we get to the halfway point at least for us to call this a success? Can we get to the halfway point? All right, so again, I'll be back just now. I'm sorry, guys, this session is going to be a bit longer, but I just wanted to show you guys how I approach my indices trading in the afternoons in New York session. This is basically it. So we'll most likely be on the charts for like an hour or an hour 30 at most, but usually it's less. So if you can be on the charts for like 2 hours, then join us. Let's trade live. Let's make some pips. Some days are bad, some days are good. Some days the losses are small, some days you got break even, some days are good days. So stay with us, guys. So if we are approaching 50 points, that's where we scale out. At 50 points, that is where we scale out. If you see that black line there, right there, that's where we scale out. So I had said I'm doing the last update. I thought the price was going to take us out. So let me do another last update to the group and just say, make sure to scale out. It's halfway. Okay, make sure to scale out at halfway or at 50 points where black line is, or otherwise manage the trade according to your trading plan. Okay, so let me see if I can just hold on for like maybe 2 more minutes. Let's see what happens. But otherwise, I've already scaled up. Price was close to my entry. So I've already scaled out. If you're watching these on YouTube, please don't forget to share if you find value in our sessions. We mainly do synthetic indices on deriv.com. We do that every day. It's free live sessions, free setups, free signal, free everything. Based on synthetic indices, everything is free. But when it comes to currencies or these particular indices now in New York, if you want to join us, this will come with a $20 fee. It's not really much, and it's something you can make in one trade. If you do not make your money within the 30 days you're trading with us, I will give you 100% discount of your $20. And this $20 is paid monthly. It's a monthly fee. If you want to trade with me this week, let me know. I'll most likely just make it free for this whole week. Join me, let's trade together. It will be free for New York session. Then after that, most likely you will make the $20 which you need to actually pay for the monthly. So after that, it will be $20 every month. If you don't make the $20, I give it back to you, 100% refund. The $20 you pay is just for my time, because I'll also be dropping like mentorship gems in here, how to manage your trade. Because you will see that within a span of a whole month, that will be roughly between 10 to 15 trading days usually, because we do not trade every day as well. So within that span, you'll find out that we will have like 10 to 15 different setups, 10 to 15 different set of notes just on trade management, how to execute, why we're executing. So it's not only just paying $20, but it's coming with a whole lot of information which I'll be sharing, because I'll be sharing exactly how I trade. So if you want to trade with me this whole week, I mainly trade US30, NASDAQ. That's what I've transitioned into. I used to trade everything else. As you can see, my watch list has got like multiple things. I still backtest on those things. I still look at them. But my main assets are the ones you see on this top part. So US30, I usually look at USD as well, NASDAQ, US500. German 30, I just like looking at it. But also, if you trade any of these assets on top here, and you want me to also share my ideas during our live sessions, I can also do that. So if you want to sample for the whole week for free, there's 4 days left into the week. I haven't checked if there's any public holiday yet up until we get to Friday. But basically, it's 4 days. Those 4 days will be free for you if you want to trade with me. We trade every day at New York session. The times will differ based on the day. If we've got a news event, we like to trade around that news event time. If there's no news event, we trade like maybe 15 to 20 minutes after the stock market opens. There's like different ways I approach these indices. So already that's already information which you actually need if you want to be successful in trading whatever you trade, because the time is a very great asset. It's all about timing. Mainly, I guess most of the traders will agree with me, especially if you're a day trader or if you're scalping. Time. It's all about the timing. You cannot just jump into the charts and say you want to trade. There has to be a certain time, and there has to be a reason why you want to trade that particular time. So reach out if you want to trade with me. Then I'll send you the Zoom link. These sessions will be via Zoom. The sessions will be recorded as well. Daily, I do recordings. So let's say you're in the session, maybe you got cut off by network or something happened or something passed and you still want to do like a recap, you can still request the session and I'll send it to you. So for these in New York session live trading sessions, I do not post them on YouTube. I only post what we analyze on the synthetics as it will be free. These ones I try to keep them within the paid members. So if you pay, then you know that no one else will have access to the material we have except you. So if you need the recordings after the session, all you have to do is request. Then it will be up to you if you want to share it with somebody else. That's perfectly fine, because you might want to share it with a brother, sister, or family members or friends. If you are trading together, that's perfectly fine. But for you to have access to that information, you need to be in our live sessions. So I'll just make those live sessions free for this week. So from tomorrow, Tuesday, the 7th of May, until Friday, the 10th of May. Let me see. Yeah, until Friday, the 10th of May, you can join me in these Zoom sessions, live trading sessions for free. Then we can always organize payments next week. And if you join this week, I'm sure you'll catch a nice trade, make good profits, and you won't even feel that you lost $20 because you would have made more than $20. So guys, this session might end up being long, but we'll see. You just have to check on price. This is a 5-minute time frame, mark your chart. You just check whether the price dropped or it came up, but otherwise, based on our trading plan today and how we approached the setup, I feel like it was a success. Although it didn't really play out the way we wanted. It might still play out, but again, I've already scaled out my position since this trade. I qualified it as a low probability trade. So as soon as we go too close to 50 points, um, collapse my trade there. I'm going to share my results on our Telegram group as well. So you can also join the Telegram group where we drop free signals as well, free setups, free mentorship tips almost on a daily basis, motivation, psychological tips, books, questions. You can ask your question, we can answer you, things like that. So you can also join the Telegram group as well. That's where we share our results as well. So thank you so much, guys, for making time. If you watched this video until the end, thank you so much, and I wish you well in your trading journey. If there's anything I can help with, I can always help, but you should know that there's always someone who does it better than me. So feel free to research as much as you can. Feel free to approach as many mentors as you can, because it's not like you get all the trading knowledge from one mentor. Sometimes you might just pick one thing, then you research, you meet someone else, you pick one thing, then you combine those things and you formulate your own trading system. So I wish you all well in your trading journey. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.